Welcome to the Penny Z Show, where you get to learn how real people overcame real issues. Get ready to take notes and, most importantly, take action. Here's your host, Penny Z.
Hello, everyone. This is Penny Z with the Penny Z Show, coming to you with yet another fantastic episode and a wonderful guest. I cannot wait to interview our guest today. But as you know, we are here to transform lives one life at a time with real, relevant, and relatable topics. Okay, so I'd like to introduce everyone our guest, Tamara Celeste. She is our guest today, and let me introduce a little bit about her bio, and we are going to get into her I'm Not Enough story. So, Tamara Celeste, she is an attorney, a best-selling author, a coach, an entrepreneur, and a real estate broker. And she is unshakably a fantastic optimist. Her mission is to empower, educate, and support women in their quest to purchase real estate, thus enabling them to increase their net worth and build wealth. She wants to help to encourage positive financial impact on your lives and the lives of your family. Please welcome with me, Tamara. Tamara, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Penny.
Absolutely. Now, I know that your book, because you're a best-selling author, is Buy Homes, Not Shoes. And I've been in real estate for 18 years myself as a real estate investor. So congratulations on empowering women in the world of real estate.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely. Now, is there anything that you would like to share from your bio that we might not have shared with our listeners a few minutes ago?
Overall, we all have, backgrounds and things, but like you mentioned, I am a former attorney. I used to be used to work on Wall Street. And I left New York and moved to Florida to become an entrepreneur. And that's where I got into real estate. I started investing when I was working on Wall Street. So I've been involved in some aspects of real estate for several years now. And I just, the smooth transition from, it's not really even a transition because I still do a little bit of everything. I still invest. I'm still a real estate agent, broker. But now my real passion has really turned to just helping women realize that they too can buy their first home or start investing in real estate. So that's where my passion lies now.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. That's my passion as well. And before we started taping the Penny Z Show, Tamara and I had some interesting conversations, and hopefully we'll have some collaboration coming up in the future. I know that we had the privilege of meeting each other many months ago at a conference. And So it's nice to be able to reconnect with you again today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, Tamara, we are in a series on the Penny Z Show called Overcoming I'm Not Enough. And our guests share one of their stories from their life on what it was, how it affected them, who was involved. And so would you just start by sharing a story that you have in your life so that our listeners don't feel alone? And I'm sure there'll be somebody out there that will relate to your story and we will be able to help today.
Of course. I've thought about this, and, we all go through different peaks and valleys in our lives. So there's all sorts of occasions when you are affected positively and negatively. But I think back to one when I was going through a divorce. I was married, and we were only married about 2.5 years. But it was a time in my life when it seemed like everything was crashing down at one time, just everything. So the divorce, the market was crashing, so we were losing our home. The home beautiful home we had just built in Florida, that was worth half of what we purchased it for. I started a business, and I wasn't able to move forward in terms of obtaining financing on that business. I had taken it as far as I could take it. So at that point, I was just like, and I left my Wall Street career, several years before that to launch this business, move to Florida. So it was just like, what in the world is going on? Like, I felt like I was just losing everything, which, I was, and for all practical purposes. And I just felt so low and so defeated. and embarrassed, like just everything. I honestly didn't even tell friends and family that I was getting divorced for months because I was just embarrassed. I just felt like a failure, complete failure. So that was a low point. I felt like, again, nothing was going right. I didn't feel confident. It was just a very, very low point in my life.
Absolutely.
During that.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that because I know that there's a lot of us. I've actually had a similar background myself where I went through a separation that led to a divorce, had to restart my life, restart my business, had a financial roller coaster ride. So, I think it's unfortunately a lot more common than any of us would like to admit. And you're right. I understand the embarrassing and not sharing your story with friends and family. So you're not alone. And I just want to thank you for coming out. We'll hear how you've done that. But I would just like to say any one of those events at one time can be a big deal for someone. Wouldn't you agree?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like a loss of a job or a loss of a person, a loss of a marriage. I mean, any kind of, loss, devastation, business, finances is challenging, but to have all that together. So share with us a little bit about what you were going through and how you pulled yourself out of that. How did you kind of come out on the other side?
Well, ironically, while this was all happening, when I moved to Florida, I obtained my real estate license as a backup plan because at the time my ex-husband and I were doing some real estate investing. So when I realized that I couldn't take my business that I had previously any further, I said, okay, let me dabble in real estate. Let me become a real estate agent and put that to work because I had no other option, right? My ex-husband was gone. He was the breadwinner at that time because I had left my job to focus on a business. So I said, let me focus on real estate. Now, the problem with that is it was 2007, 2008, and things were really starting to not go so well. So it was rocky at first. It was completely rocky. And at that point, I had friends who were worried about me. They would call and say, are you okay? Do you want to come back to New York? I even had job offers to come back to New York. Headhunters were calling me, hey, come back to New York. But I realized at that point, once I had the taste of entrepreneurship, it was very hard to go back to corporate. Very, very hard, no matter what, right? So I was determined at that point to make this work. So I noticed in my office at the time where I was working at one of the top brokerage companies in the area, that everyone was so doom and gloom in the office. They were like, oh, the sky is falling. The market is tanking. There's nothing going on. Everything is, it was just horrible around the office. So one thing I had to do was remove myself from that negativity in the office. So I did not go in as much. Or when I did, I would go in and close my office door and just really focus on what I needed to do. So at that point, short sales were, I would say out of 10 homes on the market, probably 8 of them at the time were short sales. That was just the market at the time. No one wanted to do short sales because A, no one understood them, and B, they took forever to get through. So that became my niche. That's what I was good at. I have a law degree. I was able to negotiate. I used to work on Wall Street, so I understood how to talk to the lenders. I understood how they were packaging the mortgages and selling them, how everything was happening. So to me, I was just like, wow, this is a great opportunity. So literally, people would knock on my door in my office and say, here, do you want this listing? It's a short sale. Just pay me a referral fee. Like literally every day, I'd get 2 or 3 of these listings. So I thought to myself, hey, this is my pipeline. Even if it takes me 6 months to negotiate this, I need income in 6 months. So I had a pipeline that lasted 2 years. In a matter of I would say in about 3 to 6 months, I had a pipeline of short sales that was and I negotiated them myself. I worked with the clients myself. I did everything. I was working probably about 70 hours a week, never sleeping, just constantly meeting with clients on the phone all day, going to meet with clients at night, showing properties in the evening and the weekends. Like it was non-stop. but it was something that I truly, truly enjoyed because I was able to get people out of a bad situation with dignity. And, you know, people were shocked when it's like, I don't have to go into foreclosure. No, there's an option, you know. And at that time, banks were also offering incentives. It was great to be able to walk in and tell someone that at closing they're going to get $5,000 to help with moving expenses. You know, so those things really excited me. And I found something that I was really, really good at and that I was able to help so many families. So I think perseverance. And I also think I just removed that negative chatter around me that the sky was falling, that everything was the market was horrible. You know, it's just a time where the lesson for me was there's always opportunity, no matter what the situation.
Absolutely. And I was just going to say that, you know, you reinvented yourself within an industry. You kind of have to figure out, as every industry changes, evolves with technology and you know, what happened in the 90s isn't the same as the 80s, isn't the same as the 70s, or, you know, 2019 as it is. And so you reinvented yourself and you found a niche and you helped solve a problem. And I think that was so important. And you kept your wits about you, you kept your professionalism, your hard work, and your drive. And I think that has a lot to say about kind of coming out of that, you know, I'm trying to say, you know, kind of the ditch, so to speak, emotionally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was a very difficult time for many, many people in 2007, 8, 9, 10. You know, a lot of people got hurt and maybe it was something that they did. And so there wasn't anything that could be done. And a lot of people got hurt that should have never gotten hurt. It was just an unfortunate time in our economy and in real estate. So
absolutely.
Yes, well, good for you. I love that can-do attitude and the positive attitude and getting out there. And like I said, kind of reinventing yourself. So for those of you listening and you're kind of down or you're going through a transition right now, those are some great things to do. Take away the negativity. If you have negative people or negative environment, make sure to remove yourself from them. You know, find your niche, find your passion, and just work really hard and help yourself. What other, a couple of things I'm going to ask you, what other kind of advice would you give our listeners on pulling themselves from an I'm not enough or kind of that embarrassment, difficult period in their life to be able to persevere?
You know, I believe in remaining in action, if you will. So no matter where you are, and it may sound cliche because you hear a lot of people talking about it now, but it's so true. Just figuring out what it is, what's your goal. And even if you don't know how you're going to get there, just do something, no matter how small it is, to get you toward that goal. So for instance, I would say, like right now with my business, I am, you know, I'm promoting my book. I'm launching a course on real estate, purchasing your first home, and then investing. And, you know, social media for me is not one of my favorite things, I must say. But I have to get past that, right? So I made a commitment to myself recently that I need to do something every single day to get past that and move me toward my goal, because it's such a shame if you have a talent and you're not sharing that with the world. You know, so many people are missing out on that. So I have to think about what I want to do is so much bigger than my fear or my dislike of social media, right? So I started recording videos to put up on YouTube, and I'm doing something every single day to get ready to relaunch my YouTube channel and my Facebook, creating a calendar, but I commit myself to doing something an hour a day and to the launch next week. So that's just an example, but it's just like, figure out what you want to do and just make little steps, even if it's 20 minutes a day, that to get you towards your goal, because you'll start chipping away little by little. And once you're in action, you know, whatever you believe, the universe, God, everything will start moving towards you, because you will be in action and you will set that intention to get towards your goal. So I really believe in that. Absolutely.
That's fantastic advice. I was thinking as you were talking about it, you know, in anything that we do, even if it's something that maybe we're not that good at or we don't like to do, you know, practice, practice, practice.
Right.
And so you may not eventually be the one who's managing the systems of the social media, but
Right.
you know that you need to get good at it for yourself and for your business, and to
Right.
be able to share your message with so many other people. And this is a great tool to be able to do it. Now, you
Right.
may be the face and the voice at some point and not managing all of the
Correct.
systems, but it's important to do something every single day. And I actually did something similar, but it wasn't as business oriented. It was called Karaoke Confidence. And I was very afraid of singing in public. And part of the fear that you were talking about, I think if we push past fear, it helps with building confidence.
Absolutely.
And so I had to pick something that I was fearful of doing. I was in a mastermind group, and I had to pick something that I was fearful of, and I had to be able to do that at the next retreat. We got together every 4 months.
Oh, wow.
And so I was afraid of singing in public. And so, you know, much like what you're talking about, every single day, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour, you're doing something social media related. I had to sing and practice singing every day for an hour. And once a week, I took singing lessons.
Oh,
I
wow. You took it
you
to a
know,
whole nother level.
well, I thought, you know, I don't want to be deaf, dumb, and blind going into this. And you know, if somebody was an athlete, or if
Right.
they were going to be a coach, you
Right.
know, like a business mentor or something, wouldn't you need to take classes? Wouldn't you need to practice your trait and have experts give you advice? And so, I love your definition of taking action, because that's what I did when I learned how to sing karaoke, because I had to sing a song in front of my group. But more so than just taking action, the confidence that I built up in doing that was
Right.
pretty amazing. Do you find that it helps you with confidence or with consistency in your life or in your business and what you're starting? It may just be that you just started, but is there anything around that you're experiencing?
No, you know, once I started doing my first couple of YouTube videos, I actually loved doing videos. Like, I figured I was so self-conscious about, oh my gosh, how do I look? What am I saying? How my mouth moves? I just, but once I really started it, that all went out the window. And I was just like, I'm really enjoying this. So I found a video editor on Fiverr, and I've just been sending him stuff like, here, let's edit this, and I'm ready to get this baby rolling. Like, yeah, I think you surprise yourself. How did you feel about the karaoke? Was it not as bad as you thought it would be, or did you enjoy it, or?
Both. It was
Okay.
not nearly as scary as I was expecting it to be, but I will
Right.
have to say I did have nervous energy.
Okay.
But once I actually passed through the fear of, I guess, being rejected in public, really, and having people say, oh, you can't sing, or you have a horrible voice, or, that was bad, or whatever I
Right.
was thinking people were going to say about me, that didn't happen.
Right.
I actually sing karaoke all the time now.
Right. Right.
And like you said, I absolutely love it. There are days that I'm better, and
Right.
there's songs that I'm better at,
Right.
but it's a lot of fun,
Right.
and I'm not worried about the self-consciousness about the act anymore.
Right.
I enjoyed the activity.
Right. I love that. Not the act,
So,
it's the
yeah,
activity.
absolutely.
But we make up these things in our head, right? About scenarios. Oh, they're going to hate it, or people are going to talk about it, or I'm going to be horrible. And we have all these stories going in our head. And then once we actually do something, it's like, oh, okay, that's not that bad, So if there's a lesson in that, just to, again, get in action, get in motion, because you might realize, hey, this isn't that hard. This isn't, everything you think it is probably isn't. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know that your videos are in preparation of and helping women buy houses, and your real estate and your coaching. So this is a great segue. I would love for you to share with our listeners what you are doing now, and if you have a free offer or an offer for them, and how they can reach you.
Yes. So right now I am working on, which should be up soon, an online training about buying your first home, just walking you through the steps. Everything is on my website, which is tamaraceleste.com. And I would love to offer your listeners a download of my book. So I don't know how we could do that because I don't have the link right now, but if we could maybe put it in your show notes or something,
Sure. Absolutely.
I could create that. And right now I've started groups where I'm having small groups of women meet. So if you're interested in investing, like purchasing investment property, if you already are a homeowner, but you're like, hey, I want to get to the next stage of investing, whether you want to flip or you want to buy and hold, I'm going to be having some workshops around that. And I'm also going to be having workshops around first-time home buyers, but it's not going to be the typical boring first-time home buyer workshop. I'm actually going to make it fun. It's called, it's all around my book, Buy Homes Not Choose. We might have some wine. We're going to just get you in action. It's not about, hey, this is what you do, go buy a home. It's actually like, okay, let's get you ready. Even if it's going to take you a year, 6 months, let me show you the steps and let's work together and get in action so that you know what you need to do. So we're going to make it fun. It's going to be lively. It's going to be the action steps that they need to go home and they'll have to come back the following week and be accountable that they did these things to get them, whether it's paying things off or doing things to improve your credit. So it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to really get out there and start coaching and teaching women because, again, what I find too with even some of my clients, past clients, is initially they just don't think they can buy a home. Some people just don't think it's, but they're also spending money on things that don't appreciate, like shoes and bags and this and that. And Starbucks,
other important things in our day, right?
The day at Starbucks adds up over a month. So we can start taking that money and paying things off and creating savings. And you know what? It's really not that bad. You can buy a home if you really, really just reshift some things in your mindset and also some finances. So that's what I want to get out there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for doing what you're doing. I know that we are going to, and we talked about, I'm sure there's some collaboration with my experience of being in real estate investing for 18 years and teaching women the art of private money lending and with what it is that you're doing. I'm sure we'll have some collaboration, and I will actually be in Florida in October. So we have a little bit of time. Maybe we can figure out putting something together.
Oh, I would love that.
For our
I would absolutely love that.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that offline.
Okay.
But at this point, we are finalizing yet another incredible episode of the Penny Z Show. I'd like to thank you, Tamara, so much for your time, your energy, and your wisdom today. All the great success for you. We will have her information on the Penny Z website, www.thepennyzshow.com. We will also promote Tamara and all of her information on our social media. And so if you are looking for getting a copy or downloading her book, we will also have a link to her website as well as on our website for you to get a copy of her book. So thank you for that offer today. Any other last words of wisdom before we close out for the day?
No, just for anyone listening, just follow that inner voice. That if something inside of you is telling you to do something or to share your talent or message with the world, just take heed to that and follow that voice and take action every day to get there.
Absolutely. I love that. Take action, everyone. So this is Penny Z with the Penny Z Show signing off, and we hope that you have an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to hear more, including specific ways to empower yourself, go to thepennyzshow.com.